Following an unfailing development coming from the Osun State chapter of the All Progressive Congress APC, the former managing director of National Inland Waterways Authority, Bola Oyebamiji, is already favored by the selective system of the party's governorship primary in the state. Likewise, the former Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Najeem Salam, has been handpicked by the selective system of the African Democratic Congress (ADC), while Governor Ademola Adeleke had emerged as the candidate of the Accord Party following his defection from the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Recalling that PDP had earlier selected Adedamola Adebayo as its governorship candidate ahead of the 2026 governorship election in the state. While the 2026 governorship election is being projected to be a test ground for some political samplers, the way the winner of the election will emerge may quietly take a bit deviation from the general expectation. A party like APC, which had ruled the state for 12 years, is aiming to return to power after zoning and picking its governorship candidate from Osun West Senatorial District, settling a long-term agitation that was seen to have costed the party in the past. Also, Governor Ademola Adeleke of the state, who believes the popularity of his family is enough to win him a re-election, will be researching the possibility of contesting Osun State governorship election under the platform of Accord Party while relying fully on his perceived family popularity. Is PDP dead or still breathing? Adedamola Adebayo will be standing in to convince the world during the 2026 governorship election in Osun, as Najeem Salam of the ADC will be putting the political sagacity of his godfather, former Governor Rauf Agbesola, into real-time test. Looking forward to the election, Ademola Adeleke is the incumbent governor with all resources of the state under his thumbs. He has a statewide structure he moved with from PDP to Accord Party to bank on, and he has an opportunity of asking for people's vote, referencing his administrative achievements over the years he has spent in office. Although the Right Honorable Speaker, Bola Salam, had only been Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly representing Ejigbo State constituency, he would definitely want to bank on the achievements of his political godfather, Rauf Agbesola, to solicit for people's votes, since the constituency he represented in the House remains a dot in the cycle compared to the statewide governorship election. Adedamola Adebayo Fryo of the PDP is completely a new buy, but the fact that PDP had ruled the state for more than 10 years in the past made him a figure in the contest. Fryo may bank on the achievements of the PDP's administrations for his campaign, and the fact that PDP is a traditional party in the country will contribute to his performance in the election. Oyebamiji of APC will be banking on about 4 advantages helping him to shape the election. 1. He's representing the party at the center, so federal might will surely come to his rescue whenever the need arises. Also, he's a political son to the immediate past governor of the state and incumbent minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Alhaji Ishaq Adegboyega, whose influence can never be undermined in the course of determining the next governorship election in the state. Besides, Oyebamiji's APC is a traditional party with worried membership base. It should also be recalled that there is no resources needed to nurture that election that the caliber of his sponsors cannot let go. Having said that, although Fryon of the PDP may want to showcase tricks in an attempt to establish a point around the existence of PDP in the country, setting Osun as a case study. But the real question is, does Fryo ask what it takes to pursue the statewide election in reality? The fund, the security, stakeholders, connections, goodwill, and all of what we all know are required in order to win an election in Nigeria. Even though Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde may want to come in, but to what extent? When Governor Adeleke, who was elected on the platform of the party, had defected to Accord Party with the majority of PDP's memberships and capital resources. Fryo was sometimes arrested in connection with the assassination of Chief Bola Oyebamiji. And going by the love Chief Bola Oyebaji's memory enjoys in the heart of people of Osun, it is certain the decades-old allegation may place an obstacle on Frayo's path to notable performance in the forthcoming election. However, during the forthcoming election, his name will trend whether for good or otherwise. Above all, it should be recalled that Frayo will still have to battle with post-election litigation, which may waste his chances of becoming the governor of Osun State. Bearing in mind the level of faction within PDP at the national level and the issues surrounding the office of the party's national secretary. Setting Frayo's case aside, because his ambition is already facing complex roadblocks, Speaker Najeem Salam of the ADC will have to inherit all antagonisms toward his godfather Aregbesola, just as he would be banking on his achievements while serving as the state governor. It is on record that in Osun State today, Aregbesola has a collection of both good and bad profiles. So Honorable Salam has no option than navigating through the green and dark forest of Aregbesola's political record in the state. So considerably, Aregbesola and ADC now have a tougher challenge to face, as their political sojourns were formally designed against the second-term re-election of President Bola Tinubu, who had happened to be Aregbesola's SY political godfather until recently. So take or leave it, the APC at the center will leave no stone unturned in order to deal with ADC and Aregbesola in Osun State. If for nothing, one, ADC performing wonder in Osun will give life to the party's chance in the 2027 general election, and most importantly, not under President Tinubu will Rauf Aregbesola regain political relevance. It could be an open debate, no offense. So, besides all this, while facing reality, there's an important question here. Do ADC has a formidable statewide spread and support base as Aregbesola enjoyed from APC when he was a member? That's a question that is very important to be answered in order to determine the chances of ADC in the forthcoming governorship election in Osun State. Then Governor Adeleke will have a lot of nuts to crack, as the burden centers on his head, being the sitting governor of the state. No doubt, Adeleke's administration will be asked questions about the efficiency of his spending habits, as no one can dispute the fact that states now receive humongous increment in their monthly allocations. Now, correlating his administrative achievements so far to the amount paid to his administration for the federal purse will surely shape how he will perform in the forthcoming election. Free to disagree with this, there are some crucial forces already against his re-election, and most of these forces were a reaction to self-inflicted injuries caused by the governor himself. Governor Adeleke's administration has been widely accused of nepotistic infrastructural development, with some individuals in the state claiming that more than half of his infrastructure projects have been constructed in his hometown, Ede, while other towns and cities in the state are struggling to have the presence of government in their localities. The same allegations of administrative nepotism in Adeleke's administration applies to the sharing metrics is applying on political appointments and promotions among the civil servants in the state. So, besides all this, Adeleke's newly joined Accord Party may not enjoy 100% importation of PDP membership's base, because PDP as a traditional party has some members who will rather quit active politics than joining other party. They may be with him now. With time, this reality will be unveiled. This may sound strange, but in reality they exist. This poses great threat at Adeleke's re-election chances. In fact, there's certainty that some of the politicians who are currently rolling with Ademola Adeleke will betray him, defecting to ADC, to APC, or isolate themselves from joining his campaign vehicle when the contest enters the peak stage. So, going by Adeleke's poor records of keeping to agreements, there's nothing outside giving up whether he may enjoy a polite relationship with the presidency, just as Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State did recently, despite being member of an opposition party in the state. So, Adeleke's re-election bid in 2026 will surely face full wrath of the federal might. So reasoning straight along that path, it may get to a stage Adeleke may have to tighten the mouth of their treasury, saving for life after election. Hence, the opportunity of having the financial wherewithal to pursue the election will intentionally become obsolete. So, like we have maintained so far, being a political godson of Oyetola, the governorship candidate of APC, Oyebamiji, will have no option than to inherit both his friends and enemies. I mean, the friends and enemies of his godfather, Oyetola. So, at this stage, it seems to an extent he has successfully scaled through the arrows of the enemies at the pre-election stage. So it's now facing the final laps of the battle. So the love for Oyetola within the presidency is certainly a one-man affair. Actually, except the president himself and probably a few group of his aides, the majority of those who surround President Tinubu don't have Oyetola's name included in their good book. This is possibly for reasons known to them. However, there's this supremacy attached to the only man, I mean Tinubu, who is in love with Oyetola. Whatever he says becomes a constitution within the cabinet. The cabinet members, both the kitchen, the intensive, the extensive cabinet, must do all to accomplish his wish. And that is why we strongly settle for the fact that Oyetola, being Oyebamiji's strength, is also his weakness. So, while the remnant of rivalry created during the struggles for APC's governorship ticket may be pushed over to the major election, the negative effect is actually going to be minimal with what is at play presently. But one more thing is, will Oyetola be able to convince his brother President Tinubu to get the ambition of his political godson delivered? Simply, the answer is why not. You challenge this with facts. Without any or major account of anti-party activity or negative federal might intervention, there's no political party with the supporters base of APC in Osun State. So for those who may not understand this, kindly answer this question. Genuinely, why did First Lady Remi Tinubu suddenly become furious at Governor Adeleke at the public function in Osun when the governor began to sing a song he had been singing since he became governor of the state? The meaning of the governor's song, for those people who are not Yoruba, which he usually sings in Yoruba language, is I am the only one who firmly understands and knows the reason I always praise Father, that is God. And he will repeat again that I am the only one who knows and understands. Now, give Governor Adeleke 30 minutes to speak at any function. He will spend 29 minutes plus singing that song. So now ask him to genuinely tell you what he knows and understands that the member of the party, the majority of his supporters may not know, talk less of understanding. Above all, naira for naira, dollar for dollar, pound sterling for pound sterling, except if the express approval of Osun APC spending stamp is domiciled onto the table of the Minister of Marine Economy, Oyetola. Governor Adeleke can never match the financial wherewithal of APC in the forthcoming election. So, having said all this, one major and supreme favor added to the advantage being enjoyed by Oyebamiji is that President Tinubu needs more than 17,000 states in 2027 general election, mostly as his core not support base is becoming skeptical. The president won't want to leave Osun to the hand of the envious ADC, struggling PDP, or a doubting Thomas Ademola Adeleke, who had been accused of being recalcitrant in dishonoring, disagreeing, disrespecting anything called agreements. So, whatever the case, Oyebamiji is Tinubu's next political godsons, and winning the state would suck a person at the helm of affairs needs no further negotiation from Tinubu in 2027.